It sparked a fire and residents were forced to evacuate the building, which is in the Creek Harbour district. The government says no one was injured. It was one of several attacks on the UAE within the last 24 hours, including a drone strike near Dubai's international airport. Zain Basravi is live for us in Doha. Zain, we have a taste of some of the activity in the Gulf region overnight by way of strikes. What else can you tell us?
Well, it's a much longer list. We know that there have been drone strikes throughout the course of this morning in the UAE. UAE air defenses dealing with missile and drone attacks since 3 a.m. really, and again at 6 a.m. today. Just a little while ago, smoke plumes were reported rising from the vicinity of Bahrain's international airport. That was after sirens were activated and people were told to remain calm and in place just a few hours ago. Bahrain's Ministry of Interior reporting this morning that 4 Bahrainis were arrested on charges of spying for Iran. So that's certainly a very concerning development on the ground there. Saudi Ministry of Defense saying 2 drones were intercepted and destroyed in the empty quarter. 3 different attempts made this morning to attack Saudi Arabia's Sheba oil field. And in Kuwait, the drone targeted a residential building. Really, the list goes on. But what's really concerning is what's happened in Oman in the last few hours. Oman's authorities saying that overnight, fuel storage tanks at the port of Salalah were struck by unmanned aerial vehicles, by drones. Several of them were intercepted. Some managed to get through and hit those oil tankers. And what we understand is that up until a few hours ago, reports say that firefighters were still working to try to put out the blaze that resulted from that. Now, this is significant for a few reasons. Oman has become a kind of bypass for people trying to move oil that they can't get through the Strait of Hormuz. Hence, it's become a target of Iranian retaliation as Iran tries to put pressure, use the Strait of Hormuz as a pressure point, trying to deal with any workarounds as well, clearly by attacking Oman, a close ally. So this is certainly a concerning development. What we understand, according to Bloomberg, citing sources who received direct notification, is Oman has also evacuated all ships from its main oil export terminal as a precautionary measure.
Zain, for years now, the Gulf states have essentially tried to prevent a war just like this. Now that their own cities are being targeted, what happens now to that era of neighborly diplomacy?
This is a very delicate moment for the Arab states, and by and large, they've been reactive so far, but not to the point of joining the fight, which is, it has to be said, a very delicate balance to strike between maintaining state security, demanding respect for its sovereignty, but also trying not to escalate this any further. They've all been communicating with each other very closely throughout the last 2 weeks of this war. We're into the 2nd week now. It's almost 2 weeks have almost been complete. And since before the beginning, they've been trying to stop this from happening. They've been pressuring the United States not to spark a war with Iran. They've been pressuring Iran diplomatically not to retaliate in this way. And now they're in the thick of it, and all they've been able to do is react to other people in the driver's seat, namely Iran, Israel, and the United States. But Qatar, for its part, has consistently called for diplomacy. Even while under attack, it has been efforting to open the lines of communication. Qatar's Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani addressed Qatar's Council of Ministers just yesterday, and he urged resilience in the face of these Iranian attacks.
We meet today as our region is going through grave circumstances due to the ongoing military escalation that has affected the region and has also targeted the state of Qatar, regrettably, with repeated attacks from Iran, which have not been limited to military targets alone, but have also struck civilian targets, showing little regard for the harm inflicted upon Qatar and the resources of its people. At this stage, it is important because of the moment our country is going through. Qatar has faced many difficult challenges in recent years, and each time, by the grace of God, we have emerged stronger. Such experiences have taught us the importance of perseverance and the need to continue strengthening the resilience of our country in the face of such challenges. Therefore, under the current political and economic circumstances, I urge you all to prioritize spending in ways that strengthen our resilience. And when this hardship passes, God willing, we must maintain this same level of commitment.
Now, we've heard from a number of Qatari officials over the course of the last 2 weeks with regards to how they feel about Iran's retaliatory attacks across the Gulf Arab neighborhood. And through the diplomatic poise, it is easy to see that leadership in Qatar, in these other countries, they are livid. But I have to go back to the role that Qatar has played in the past in resolving conflicts, often involving the United States, often at the request of the United States, mitigating, mediating, involving a large number of people in a conversation about how to pare down the violence. If you look at Afghanistan, the United States was at war in Afghanistan for 20 years, and they turned to Qatar to try to broker peace with the Taliban. And despite the fact that Qatar is now caught up in ongoing violence, it is likely a similar role they'll play to try to bring this conflict to an end, which the Qatari government, the foreign minister, prime minister, the spokespeople have all said it may have started with missile salvos, but it will end at the negotiating table.
Zain Basravi in Doha, many thanks for that update.